Today we're doing Unit 4, Lesson 10, and in this lesson we'll be focused on dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. A unit fraction is when we have 1 in our numerator, and it can be any number in the denominator. So 1 over 2, or 1 over 5, and so on. Question number 1 that I'm going to do for you is we're going to figure out how many 1/2s are there in 6. So as a division sentence, this would be 6 divided into 1/2. To do this, I'm going to diagram and divide that way. So I'm going to model for you 6 holes. So I'm going to make 6 full boxes, connecting them one next to the other, and again doing my best to make them approximately the same size. Don't worry if your drawing isn't perfect. And I want to divide them into halves. So in order for me to do that, I need to also then divide my holes into halves. So because the denominator is 2, I'm going to divide each of these holes into 2 boxes. To show a fraction, I'm going to use a dash line to represent that the outline here still represents one whole, and then the inside is split into its fraction amount. As I do this, I now can say each of these boxes represents 1/2. And so I'm going to count how many 1/2s I have in 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 divided by 1/2 equals 12. Let me complete this one for you. We're going to be doing 6 divided by 1/3 this time. And so instead of dividing each of these boxes into 2, like we did for 1/2, I'm going to divide them into 3 to represent thirds. So that one whole is now separated into 3/3, and I will do that. Okay, again, not looking for you to draw the best, do the best you can. And so now that I have them in thirds, I am now just going to count how many 1/3s there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you're doing this, you don't need to write out the numbers as I am. You can just count. So we find the value to be 18. So right now we've done 2 of these examples. The first one being 6 divided by 1/2 was equal to 12. And now I've done 6 divided by 1/3 equals 18. So we should see a pattern starting to happen, so that if I was going to then divide 6 by 1/4, I could predict that my answer will be 24. Okay, what we're noticing here is when we have a unit fraction, you're just multiplying the whole number by the denominator. Okay, this rule only works, again, if we have a unit fraction where there's 1 on top. What we should also point out is that we can connect that if I'm dividing something by 1/2, for example, it's the same as multiplying it by 2. Or even if I was dividing something by something like 1/15, I could just multiply by 15. Let's see how this works if we have a non-unit fraction. Okay, so this question is going to ask me to divide 6 divided into 2/3. And to do this, if I could use the rule that I just came up with, I would predict, again, 6 times just the denominator. My prediction is 18. But let's see if that's true based on this diagram. So it's already been split into thirds for me, so I'm just counting out groups of 2/3. So 1/3, 2/3, this is group 1. 1/3, 2/3, that would be group 2. We're just combining, again, 2/3 together. And notice I'm increasing by 1 because the number of groups as I do this is increasing by 1. So 1/3, 2/3 here would be the 5th group, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So what we're seeing here is that rule that I had for unit fractions does not apply if I have a non-unit fraction. So for right now, in order to find the answer to a division question like this, we need to draw a diagram. Okay, so 18 wasn't the answer, it's not 6 times 3. When I diagrammed it out, I end up with 9. Let me show you one more example. Again, this has the numbers already split, so I'm dividing into 3/4. So I'm just going to be counting out 3/4 based on this diagram. So this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 1, 2, 3. That's group 3. This is group 4. 3/4 there is 5. 6. 1, 2, 3. 7, and we end here 1, 2, 3, 8 groups. So 6 divided by 3/4 is 8. Okay, so again, because this is a non-unit fraction, I needed to count out for my diagram. When you're diagramming on your own and you have to create these boxes, what you should split a whole box into comes from the denominator here. So I was splitting into fourths, so I took my 1 whole and broke it into fourths